Welcome back to the POW-RELAB channel. In this video, we will walk you through the settings menu of the POW-RELAB 1.2KU low-frequency all-in-one solar inverter. To enter the settings menu, press and hold the enter button for 10 seconds. Setting 0 controls the grid input voltage range. This defines how tolerant the inverter is to grid voltage fluctuations. If the voltage stays within the selected range, the inverter will accept grid power. If it goes outside the range, the inverter will treat the grid as abnormal and switch to battery or solar power. APL mode allows a wide voltage range, making it more suitable for unstable grids. UPS mode is stricter and will switch away from grid power more quickly, making it ideal for sensitive equipment like computer or servers. Setting 1 controls the grid frequency range. HI corresponds to 40 to 70 Hz, while LO corresponds to 45 to 65 Hz. This works the same way as the voltage setting. LO is stricter and HI is more tolerant. Setting 2 defines the output source priority. UTI means utility first. Utility will be used to power the loads as the priority, and the solar power and battery will only be used when utility is unavailable. SOL means solar first. Solar powers the load when available, with the battery assistant if needed. If the battery voltage drops too low, the system switches to grid power. SBU means solar, battery, utility priority. Solar powers the load first, then the battery, and finally the grid when needed. Setting 3 controls the charging source priority. In CUT mode, both grid and solar can charge the battery at the same time. In CSO mode, solar is prioritized. If the battery voltage drops below the threshold set in setting 9, grid charging will also start. When the battery voltage reaches the value set in setting 10, grid charging will stop. In OSO mode, only solar is used for charging, and grid charging is disabled. Setting 4 limits how much of the total charging capacity can be used by grid. Setting 5 limits how much can be used by solar power. It is recommended to set solar charging to 100% to maximize the use of solar energy. Setting 6 is the boost charging voltage. This is the constant voltage stage used when the battery is nearly full. Setting 7 is the flow charging voltage, which maintains the battery at full charge. Setting 8 is the low voltage cutoff. When the battery reaches this level, the inverter stops discharging to protect the battery. Setting 9 defines the voltage at which grid charging is enabled. Setting 10 defines the voltage at which grid charging stops. Together, these two settings create a control range to avoid both steep discharge and excessive grid usage. It is recommended to keep a reasonable gap between them to prevent frequent switching. Setting 11 sets inverter output voltage with options for 100 volts, 110 volts, and 120 volts. Setting 12 controls how sensitive the inverter is to grid fluctuations. IDE offers a balanced response. LO is slower and more suitable for less sensitive loads, and HI provides faster response for sensitive loads. Setting 13 sets the output frequency to either 50 Hz or 60 Hz. Setting 14 enables automatic restart. If enabled, the inverter will attempt to restart up to 3 times after a fault, such as overload or short circuit. Setting 15 controls the display backlight. Setting 16 controls the buzzer alarm. Setting 17 enables or disables the low battery warning. Setting 18 enables transformer temperature protection. If the internal temperature is too high, the inverter will reduce output or shut down to prevent damage. Setting 19 is reserved and do not require configuration. Setting 20 sets the communication baud rate. Setting 21 is reserved and do not require configuration either. Setting 22 defines the battery voltage required to allow restart after shutdown. Setting 23 sets the automatic restart voltage after low voltage shutdown. Setting 24 selects the battery type. It supports various lithium and lead-acid batteries, and users can also select user-defined to customize the charging parameters. Setting 25 enables BMS communication. When enabled, charging and discharging will be controlled based on SOC instead of voltage. Settings 26 to 29 are SOC-based protections and thresholds. Setting 26 defines the low SOC shutdown level. Setting 27 defines when to switch from battery to grid based on SOC. Setting 28 defines when to switch back to battery from grid. Setting 29 defines the SOC required to allow restart. Setting 30 defines the low voltage alarm threshold. Setting 31 is reserved. The final settings include restoring factory settings and enabling or disabling ECO mode. That's all for the settings overview of the POW-RELAB 1.2KU low-frequency all-in-one solar inverter. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.